So then Spias next to way dynamic. Big.
Ist der groß oder ist der Monster groß?
Das berührt ja nicht, ne? Doch.
Jetzt mal da oben drauf. So, ja, schauen wir mal, wie das ausschaut.
Good afternoon and welcome to Monkey Jungle's Cameroon Jungle. My name's Aileen and the big handsome gorilla, his name's King. Just to let you know, throughout this presentation, I'll be rewarding King with little bags of food. Now, I wrap King's food in these paper bags because normally he's way too lazy to try and catch it. And if it were to hit the ground and get way too dirty, King's not going to eat it. The King's male, he's a western lowland gorilla. Now, this is one of 4 subspecies of gorillas. There's the western lowland, which is the only kind you'll find in captivity in the United States. There's the eastern lowland, which are the largest. The mountain gorillas, made famous by Diane Fossey's Gorillas in the Mist. Then there are the most recently discovered through DNA testing, the Cross River gorillas. They were once thought to be the same as the western lowlands like King, but they're actually just a little bit different. You can tell that King's a western lowland gorilla because the top of his head is completely brown in color. The other species will have black heads. They could have little patches of brown, but they will not be completely brown like King's. Now, speaking of King's head, many people also comment on its large size, and that is one very easy way to tell the difference between a male and a female gorilla. The very large bump you see on the top of King's head, that is not his skull or his brain. His brain is actually 1/3 the size of a human's. Instead of that bump, it is called a sagittal crest. It's made up of a little bit of bone and a whole lot of muscle. And that muscle comes down and connects to King's jaw, giving him a very strong bite. That sagittal crest, it is much larger in the males than it is in the females. King is 47 years old. In the wild, gorillas usually live to be around 40, so that makes him rather old for a gorilla. However, in captivity, like here at Monkey Jungle, we have health care, so King's expected to live into his mid to upper 50s instead. Now, King is 5 feet 2 inches tall when he stands, and yet he weighs around 400 pounds. He has the mental capacity of a 3-year-old child and the strength of 6 to 10 grown men. And if you were to ask me, that makes a wonderful combination. King's also referred to as a silverback gorilla. Many people will confuse this for a species, however, it is not. That's just a sign of a mature male. And all male gorillas will develop a silverback at around the age of 10 to 12 years old. And if you take a very good look at King, it kind of looks like he's wearing a pair of silver pants. Let's go ahead and see if King wants to show us a little bit more of that beautiful silverback.
Up! Turn around!
Oh my god.
You may have seen movies depicting gorillas, and they're often portrayed as mean and vicious. That's most likely because people once thought that gorillas were meat eaters because they do have rather large canine teeth. However, those teeth are not used to hunt because all gorillas are vegetarians. In fact, a gorilla living in the wild can eat up to 65 pounds of vegetation in a single day. And of course, King loves all of his veggies. Some of his favorites include romaine lettuce, celery, sweet potato, and King really enjoys green beans. But King also enjoys eating other things as well, like yogurt, and he likes to drink unsweetened iced tea, which are prepared for King in a bottle. And once King is done having his snack, we'll go ahead and see if we'd like to have some iced tea this afternoon.
Drum! Watch out, big guy!
Ha!
Maar ik kan die klas nou oppakken.
King came to Monkey Jungle 37 years ago at about the age of 10. But before arriving here at Monkey Jungle, King was in the circus. We do not know much about King's life at that circus, but what we do know is, while King was there, they actually removed all of his front teeth, including his canines. Now, like I mentioned earlier, King would not need any of those teeth to hunt because he is vegetarian. And as you guys can see, he chews with his back teeth, his molars, kind of like how we do. However, King would need all those teeth as a form of protection against other gorillas. The sagittal crest I mentioned earlier, that gives him a very strong bite. But without any front teeth or canines, that sagittal crest, it is now virtually useless. And that's why it is not a very good idea to put him in there with other gorillas. King is actually unable to defend himself. However, we did try to pair King with a female at one time from the Gorilla Society. It's the females that choose the mate, and she rejected King. We're not exactly sure why she rejected him, but if we were to guess why, it was most likely because King was missing his front teeth. The female must have known that he's unable to protect the offspring, so she was better off waiting for another mate. But another mate for King in captivity is very difficult to come by, and chances are, if the female we had rejected him, other females most likely will as well. But just because he's our only gorilla does not mean he's lonely. Let's remember that humans raised King for most of his life. So instead, he looks towards me and his other trainers for interaction. One of us is here 7 days a week, 8 hours a day at King's beck and call. Let's go ahead and see if King is ready to show us another behavior.
Recycle!
Reese.
Oh.
So believe me when I tell you, King's a very spoiled gorilla. So much so that inside King's night house, which is where King goes to sleep at night, he actually has his own heating and air conditioning, radio, flat screen HD TV with a remote control DVD player that King can control himself using a specially made remote. Now, like I mentioned earlier, he does have the mental capacity of a 3-year-old child, so King enjoys Disney movies. Some of King's most favorite Disney movies are Beauty and the Beast, Tarzan, and now more recently, King likes to watch Frozen. More surprising than a gorilla watching Disney is the fact that his favorite TV show is The Ellen DeGeneres Show. And that is probably because Ellen is very upbeat. She likes to play music and dance around. Ellen has a very animated personality, which makes it very fun for King to watch. Let's go ahead and see if King learned anything from watching Ellen.
Up! Dance!
But just because King has a TV does not mean he sits around and watches it all day. King enjoys doing other things as well, like finger painting. So if you guys were to take a walk through the gift shop, you can actually check out all of his masterpieces. I have King put a signature on all of them. So if you were to look in the corner, you're going to find a very large gorilla fingerprint. From time to time, he does use hand gestures assigned to me. King does not know American Sign Language, but over the years, he's developed signs on his own that consistently mean the same thing. I can also tell how he's feeling by his facial expressions, body postures, and also by his grunts. So if you guys happen to hear King do a low, deep rumble sound, that's his way of letting us know he's happy and having fun. Many people will think that King looks very angry, but King is not very angry. He just has a very wrinkly face. Let's go ahead and see if King wants to show us one of his facial expressions.
Funny face! Up! Sit! Funny face!
Sorry about that, King. When gorillas walk, they do what's called knuckle walking, and that's of course when they walk directly on their knuckles. That is the easiest way for a gorilla to get around because their arms are much longer than their legs, and their pelvis it was not made to handle the stress of walking bipedally the way we do for very long. However, gorillas can and will walk on two legs for short periods of time, and that is usually when trying to impress a female or intimidating another male. Another common question I get is whether or not a gorilla can climb. They can, but being around 300 to 400 pounds, it does take something very sturdy to hold a gorilla's weight. And at King's very old age, he's not willing to climb much anymore, unless there's a lot of food involved. Let's go ahead and see some of that walking.
Come. Bow. Up. Sit. Funny face. Here we go, big guy.
Inside that big bag, I gave King some of his favorites. Some celery, a bunch of grapes, and gorilla biscuits, which are kind of like cookies for King. Although gorillas are often portrayed as mean and vicious, hope is that we all learn they could be shy and perhaps enjoy some privacy. Not many people will get to work with King because it involves a very long bonding process, but once he does get to know you, he can be very sweet and very loyal. But this otherwise concludes the presentation. The next presentation of the day will be at the Amazon rainforest at 4 o'clock. Easiest way to get there is to head back through any of the